Till now we have seen that Gacha went to the past and he even touches Dana, then he comes to the present and thinks, how can this happen? Earlier I was not able to touch anyone. Was my power returned? Does it mean that I can also meet Sui in the past? And then he sees Soyeon's photo and remembers his moments spent with her and goes to the past, but this is that moment when Dane was giving CPR on the beach, and Gacha, seeing this again, comes back to the present and says that how can this happen? Was I happy at that time? After that he again goes to the past. I try to leave, but again he comes back to the past where Dae is, and he sees that I was smiling looking at Dae, and he again comes to the present and says, that was I really smiling looking at Dae? Why is this happening? Dae is, and after that he comes to Dae's spa and asks where Dae is. Then Dae comes there, and Kui, who holds his hand and takes him with him, says that I want to talk to you, and asks Kui, who are you? After all, whenever I open my eyes, then why are you coming in front of me? Dae, she says, this is a bit weird way of confessing your feelings. Then Gacha angrily says that you should confess. After all, you are you. Do you hypnotize someone? Do you know with what power you have manipulated my mother? On this the nurse says that you are crossing your limit. Then Gacha says that after all it is in your mind. Then Manam comes there and says that I know everything, and then she talks to Dae and says that I apologize to you on behalf of Gacha, that sometimes he behaves like this, but he is very good at heart. Now you should not work in the spa. And then she talks to Gacha and says that I have told Dae that from now on she will stay at our house and will take care of Aina and will also help her in completing her assignments. Gacha says that why are you doing this? She says that Dae is probably that girl who can bring back our powers. After meeting Dae, if you don't feel any change in your power, then Gacha refuses, and her mother says that you should meet Dae on Sunday. Gacha says, why should I meet her? Then her mother says that don't you want to know that Dae has done this? Why is he wearing our family ring on his finger? Then we see Sunday Dae and Gacha is watching from a distance, and Dae is also waiting for Gacha. Gacha looks at her and says, is it really because of Dae my power has returned? Should I keep an eye on him? By the way, my power is really useless. And then we are shown the scene of the past where Gacha works as a firefighter, and he shouts to all his teammates that he is going to be a father, and there is his boss whose name is Yeonjin. He gets very happy on hearing this. Then in the next scene we see that Aina is born, and Guz is very happy, and at the same time we see that there is a fire at a place and the school is on fire, and Guz team came there to extinguish the fire. And then in the next day we see in which accident young Jean dies, and Guz tells us that in this accident many parents lost their children. And then Gacho comes back to his work, and then he comes to the same place in the past where Aina was born, and when he opens the door he sees that he can't touch the door, and he is shocked to see that such a thing happened. How can it be possible? And then he runs to the same place where the fire was burning, and there a girl is telling young Jun that there are many children in the storage room, so please help them. So young Jun starts going inside, but Gacha starts shouting from outside saying that please don't go inside or else you will die. So young Jun thinks that maybe someone is calling him, but he can't see anything, and as soon as he goes inside a lot of debris falls on him, due to which he dies. Then in the next scene we see Gacha with Zion, and he is telling her that in the past I saw a girl. I touched the door. So Zion says, but earlier you said that you never touched anything in the past. Can't do it, and neither can you help anyone. Gacha says that I told you, but there should be a door which I can touch, which means I can help. And then he comes to the same place many times in the past where the school was on fire, but he is late every time, and Yeonjin has already entered the building and has died, and he finds the door and tries to break it down, but that doesn't work. Other than we see Gacha at work with his teammates, and then the emergency call is called and everyone is in the car to help, but we see that Jija is not there. Then Jija's new boss is scolding him and says that you are not working properly here. Whenever we need you, you always disappear. We know you are celebrating Yeonjin's wedding, but now you let him go. Then Jija says, you can't understand what I'm going through. I'm only thinking about Yeonjin. I can't get out of my mind. Then his boss says, if you can't work properly here, then you should leave this job. Then we see Aina asks, where is Papa? She says, your Papa went to meet Aina. Then Aina says, is there any Aina like me? Does Papa love her more than her mother? Says, your Papa went to meet you because he has a superpower. Aina says, is he really a super Hero Zion says yes, he helps people with his power, and after that she happens to Ina. Again we see Gacha at the same place where the fire was. After that we see Gacha with his family who are going for a walk together, and Seren is telling her that you should not go anywhere today, otherwise I and Aina will go far away. Gacha says that it is not that I want to go there, but I don't know how I reach there by myself. Then Zion says is that the only happy moment in your life. Gacha says that the happiest moment in my life was when Aina was born, but the worst moment was also when the side caught fire. And then Seo sees that Gacha has again gone to the past, and Gacha again comes to the same place where Aina was born, and when he goes to the present, he sees that Sun had met with an accident, and he had died. After that we see in the present where Gacha is remembering all this, and he leaves from there without meeting Dae, and then we see Dae with his family. His mother is saying that it is okay if Gacha did not come to meet you, and neither is he accepting that he has held your hand but you keep moving forward, and she advises Dae to become the legal guardian of his family. Then we see that Dae comes to their house with a flower bouquet in her hand. Gacha sees her and says, "What are you doing here?" Then Gacha's family arrives there, and Manam and Flower want to take it, but Dae says that the book was given to me by Guz. Guz says, "When did this happen? I did not give this to you. I want to talk to you," and start taking the MLA with him, and Aina is watching them from above and says that I had told Dae to stay away from our family, but she did not listen to me, and the same who was telling Dae that I had flower book. When did I give it to you? You lied. Why are you saying so? Dae says, "Lied? You are saying, have you forgotten that on Sunday you came to meet me? You gave me flower bouquet with you. I also gave me the right. You always keep on blaming me. What are you getting by doing all this?" After that Gacha goes inside, then Dae also comes inside, and Man tells me that you don't worry about Gacha. I think he is feeling embarrassed, and Aina is busy on the phone on the side. Sarnak asks her to come to him, but Aina does not pay attention to their words. Then Dae says, "I think Aina needs someone who can take care of her and also can help her in getting her power back." Then Aina says that I already have power. I'm invisible. No one in the school can see me. Saying this, she went to school, and she says that being invisible is not so bad. I can spy on the kids here and they won't even find out. And then she sees the same boy there whom she saw in the dance room, and the name of that boy is Jinwoo, and she starts making a video of him. Then a girl named Irene comes there and tells Aina that, "Are you keeping an eye on Jana? Are you spying on him?" And she starts removing his specs. Then Aina tells her to stay away from her. "Don't touch my specs," and she also gives her a smile. Then Jana looks at her, and Aina also looks at Jana, and Aina leaves. From there the part goes on, and then we see Dae who is modeling, and then a man sees her heels, and Dae gets those heels and comes to the roof, and there tries to fly and even flies, but then she suddenly becomes fat and falls down. But then we see that Donji is just dreaming. Nothing like this happens, and while dreaming she falls down from the bed, and then someone comes outside her house, and there is a lady who is the owner of her apartment, and she is showing the house to someone else so that she can sell this house to someone else. Then Donji comes home and sees Dae is massaging her mother, and Donji tells Dae that this is a family matter, you should leave from here. Then Dae goes from there and starts listening to their conversation on the side. Donji tells her mother that, "What is all this? What is Dae doing here? Is she going to stay with us?" Then her mother says that right now Aina needs someone's care, and Dae is taking care of her. And Dae is recording all this on the phone, and Donji tells her mother that, "You should not do this. I feel that our whole family is ruined, and tell me that, are we running short of money that you want to sell my apartment?" Then Manam says that we can auction the gym quickly, and you don't worry, everything will be fine because Dae is with us, and because of Dae I am getting good sleep. And she goes to sleep, and Donji thinks that maybe someone is listening to their conversation, but when she looks, Dae has left from there. And Gacha sees Dae leaving, and Dae comes out and messages her mom that there is financial problem in their family, and also they have supernatural powers, so we should be careful of them. And from above Gacha is watching her, and Dab sees him and she smiles seeing him, but then Gura goes inside. Then we see Dahar who has cooked food for Everiao, and she calls everyone for food, but Donji says that I'm on diet, and Sunna is also going somewhere else. There is Garis sitting there. She asks him to eat, but Gacha says that I I'm not hungry, and Aina also ignores Daha, and then she asks Gaja what Aina likes. Gaja says that candy win her heart through food, but nothing like this will happen because Aina does not like anything, and then Aina is eating food. Daha is sitting next to her, and she takes her specs from her and says, "Give me my glasses." Then Daha says, You were lying that you are invisible, right? You are not invisible, you are just pretending as if you cannot see the people around you. And she tells her her eyes are very pretty. After that she is making Aina's eyebrows, and sees that her eyes are shining and says that I think you are that girl. Then Aina says that what do you mean? Do you want to take our 50 billion building? Da says that. What did you say? And but Aina without saying anything leaves from there, and Da says, all this, what was it? Then we took Aina to school and we see Harry coming to her. She takes her glasses and says, your eyebrows look really nice. Aina says, I want my glasses. Glasses fall down and Aina can't see anything. Then a boy picks up her glasses and comes to Aina, and this boy is Jana, and he asks Aina, is your name Aina? Aina says yes. Jana makes her wear his glasses and says, do you want to join our dance group? Then Aina says yes. Then we see Donji, who sees that her weight increases a lot, and Grace cries there and asks him if we should work out together, but Donji pushes her to ignore her, and then she calls Jahan and says let's go for dinner together, but Jahan says that he has to go for a surgery. After that Donji calls her friends and says let's go for dinner together. Then at night Donji is coming with her friend and she sees Jahan with Grace and then starts following them, and Jahan follows Grace. He asks her to come to his room and says that it was your decision, right? But Grace says that she needs time to think. Then Donji also comes there and sees that Grace and Jahan are kissing each other. Donji leaves from there and Grace pushes Jahan back. Then Jahan is in her apartment. Donji is packing her stuff and she tells Jahan that you should also leave from here. Says, are you going to your house? Donji says yes, I don't have cash. I need cash, and Donji says that there is no use of us staying together. Jahan says that I also feel that we should take a break. And earlier I was your fan. And we also see that when Donji used to do modeling, during one of the modeling sessions, Jahan is watching her and in the same present, Jahan takes his stuff and leaves from there. While at home, we see Dea, who has cooked food for everyone. And then a paper in the kitchen catches fire. Dea tries to extinguish it, but she is not able to do so. Gacha comes there and extinguishes it and says, what have you held in your hand? Are you afraid of fire, and why are you doing all this when you know that no one in our family likes to eat? So Day says that I want that at least once this family sits together and eats food. Anyway, I don't have any family. After that, Gwija and Day are sitting together and eating food, and Day is also there, and then we see that Gwiju is looking at the flowers which Day brought, and he says that I really gave this flower to her. So Day also looks at Gwiju, and she says that when you gave me these flowers they were not dry, they were not withered, and then she gives some garbage to Gwiza to throw. Then Gwiza goes out to throw it, and along with it he sees a cart in which there are many flowers, and he is looking at the same flower which was near the 10th and flower corner. Says, do you want to buy these flowers? I will give you discount. But Gwiza refuses, but still he is looking at the flowers, and when that man comes to see Gwiza, then he sees that there but Gaja is not there, and we see that Gwija has already arrived at the place where Day had come to meet him on Sunday, and then Gwija left from there, but then Gwija starts following Day with a bouquet, and Day sees him and says that you did this, and then a biker comes there and is about to hit Day. Then Gwija backs him to save him, and Day comes in his arms, and there in the present we see Manam Moise asking Day where Sana is. Then she says Sana is on some work. Yeah, that is what we are listening to. I am dancing with a girl, and Day's uncle is making a video of them, and Day asks her if she wants tea. She says yes. Then she goes to make tea and adds something to it. Then Donji comes there and says that she wants to drink tea. Then Day says that it's okay, I will make tea for you, and Day goes from there. Then Donji starts drinking the same tea which Day had made for Manam, which Day had made for Manam. Seeing this, Day comes running and tells Donji that you don't want this tea. Can this be for your mom? Then Donji says, have you mixed anything in it? That it is not intoxicating drug. If my mom comes to know, then it can be a big problem for you. Then hearing this, Day drinks the tea from her, and Donji sitting on the side and drinking tea, and because of drinking tea Day is feeling very sleepy, but she controls herself and says that Dea, you don't have to sleep. After that, Donji comes to a room and Dea starts following her and is watching her from outside, and Donji is in that room where their entire family property was kept, and Donji is looking at the money there, and Donji starts looking upwards, but she is not able to reach up. Then her feet go up in the air, and seeing this, Dea is very shocked and gets scared and starts running away, and Donji sees her running and thinks, who is this? And Dea's slippers get open right there, and Dea is running and going upwards and saying that this is a haunted house, and she is about to fall down, but Gar catches her and Gwija is completely wet, and he asks Dea, why are you running away, are you okay? And then Dea looks in the mirror, she sees that in the mirror Gwija says leave me, and Gwija, and with this the episode ends, it's over. So guys, we will meet next, till then take a bye bye with the episode.